briefly. Let me see if I can bring Gorgina on. Gorgina, my darling.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, and you?
Thanks to bring you on. So let me close the comments back because they no one gets sense today. Now, what is your take about people? Let's discuss social media. This
Correct.
released to the public, and people are commenting. This person has the opinion that what she did was right. This person has the opinion that what she did was wrong. What
Yeah.
is your take on the influence of social media on this particular scenario?
Like you clearly stated, social media is a powerful force,
Hmm.
and there's nothing wrong with social media. What becomes important is how you use social media. It's the
Hmm.
most powerful tool, like you rightly said, that no government can take away from you except you want to take it away. And I've been listening to all your analysis. I'm a Nigerian. I live in America. I'm always in Europe. I do everything. It has
Can
been a
you listen?
force for good.
We love what you're saying. We want to hear well. People are. I have people on YouTube and on Facebook too who say, "Hey, we want to hear George. They even want to see your face, but they believe that only Instagram people
Yeah,
enjoy."
it's like I'm almost going to bed. I'm in Europe. It's
Oh,
almost 2 a.m.
and your
Yeah,
face fresh like this.
I don't know. We
All
thank
right.
God. Yeah, my take has always been, use social media responsibly. It can be a force for change and for good. It can equally backfire if you're not using it responsibly. And in this age and era, we all, I included, we need to be extremely careful as to what we put out there. It might
Mm.
be fun. We might think we're having a good time. Like someone once said, the internet will never be defeated. I woke up just like every other Nigerian this morning because I'm still struggling with the time difference, from America, Europe, and every other thing. I woke up around almost 12 midday. My phone was filled with so much tape. So I didn't even, I clicked, my friends in Dubai were calling me. I'm like, what's going on? I opened the video. I'm like, who is this? So I asked us, I put question mark, what is this? They said, oh, that is Tiwa. I'm like, whoa, whoa. My first reaction was like, oh my God. I know a few weeks back she projected it that someone was trying to blackmail her. So
Yeah.
she went ahead of the story. So, living with such anxiety, it came out. So when I asked, I'm like, why is this out? Somebody said she was bragging somewhere she performed yesterday about whatever, whatever. I'm like, oh, wow. And I stated my humble opinion as to, sex is not a crime as an adult. These are two consenting adults having a mutual time together. As a public figure, I think most of us don't know the place we hold in society and the power we wield that can
Mm.
be a force for change and for good. And when I stated my opinion today, I made some comment. We all, as women, we ought to be very, very careful, especially women in public space. For the last, since last month, it's been gut-wrenching watching. A case of a man releasing a voice tape of a woman crying in the most vulnerable state. I couldn't stomach it, even though I am not a fan of that woman. But that was morally wrong and reprehensible and needed to be called out because there are so many victims of that guy. Let me tell you something what people don't know. In 2017, that same guy slipped into my DM. I have a film I want to do, I want to do. And I looked at him and I just said, oh, I nod. Some of them specializes in preying on women. They watch you, they learn you. So as a woman in public space, learn your environment and what you do. There are people watching. We are not saints. I'm not saint. I'm a mother of 2 kids. I've been divorced 11 years. I am not saint. I have relationships. But one thing I've come to learn is the quest of instant gratification has made many people lose their moral compass. And for us to begin to restore that, we need to call a spade a spade. Tiwa did not commit an abomination.
She did not even commit a crime.
She did not.
Even a crime. She did. You guys need to understand that she did not commit a crime.
She did not. She did not.
Morally wrong by your standards might not be morally wrong by another person's standards.
She did not. For my own take, my take was this. I don't care how much you love a man or a woman. In this time, day, and era, do not leave yourself vulnerable. We live in a situation whereby
honorable.
Even conversation, innocent conversation, you could call your girlfriend, your guy friend to say, hey, this is what I'm going through. It's being recorded. And you begin to question people's moral compass. Why? Why would you record me? So I don't know, when today I said, I don't know if she was intoxicated, if she was physically impaired or under the substance of anything. For me, I don't see any responsible person that will put yourself. One, you're in a public space. That was a boat with so many girls, women in the age of internet, whatever. You should be conscious. If you were drinking anything, you're not a child to know that people slip things to make you incapacitated. The more reason. So if you were in your private jet having your private time with your boyfriend, it's within your right as an adult. But in such a setting, my brother, we have to exercise caution. I was discussing with a colleague of mine today. I said, you have a talk show. Maybe this is a topic we all need to address. When you begin to teach our women, our men, it's not only men that blackmail women. I know women who blackmail men.
Absolutely.
If you're entering any man's room today, make sure you switch on that light or switch it off and use your phone to scan if there's camera anywhere. Trust nobody. Don't let down your guard. The pain, I can only imagine what that woman is going through. But the moral of this story should be, to me, to every woman, to every man there, be cautious, especially if you hold a public space and public trust. Anyone can fall a victim. And I tell I'm different. When you are making love, like I said, is the most sacred spiritual act you can. There are two things a woman does. What is sacred? When you're having an intimate encounter and when you're giving birth, those are sacred because they are not beyond, they're beyond your control. You are lost in that moment. Why would you let anybody compromise your dignity? I don't care how much you love me. And like I clearly stated, a man who has so much at stake, job, reputation, career, family, or whatever, would not take a video and record you. Even if you do it there and then in this age of iCloud, oh boy, delete it. Oh girl, keep your phone somewhere. People say, oh, couples. You've been married, you've been through divorce. I've been through divorce. Thank God it was before Instagram. Imagine if some of these people we were entangled with had such weapon. You think we'll be sitting here today? No matter the love, have every fun you want to have. keep electronics out of it. Such content in the hands of even a lover can be deadly because there's a thin line between love and hate. My brother, love dies. People fall out. How do you do that? You know, I empathize with her. She's a brave woman. The cavalier attitude I don't like, but we're all built differently.
Differently, and we handle situations differently.
Differently. But I want to make a passionate appeal to our women. We all have the privilege to be famous, not because we're special. It's either our talent or we were ready and opportunity met us and everything collided, right? Not because we're more beautiful, more intelligent, or more educated, or it's preparedness and opportunity makes a star if you got what it takes to be there. To attain fame, it's easy. It's the sustainability of fame and the burden that comes with it that becomes essential. You know what I mean? So for me, I wish her well. I wish the other lady well. I wish things were different from then. But I take exceptions to our people, a queen I stand. No, there's nothing queeny about such things. When you say, you know what, I admire your courage for standing up to a blackmailer, it makes more sense. And people will understand it from that. But people come to use the word
that we need to talk about that are being buried in the, oh, you guys are talking about her, let her rest. You guys are, nobody's addressing, nobody's addressing other cogent issues that are coming out of this. Blackmail is what she did in the video is not a crime.
No.
Blackmail is a capital offense. How did the narrative switch from blackmail to what it is now? The intellectual capacity of the audience that is perceiving.
I blame my colleagues. I've always said it. Most of us met fame by accident. Doesn't mean we're intellectually sound. Most of us are critically compromised. I mean, you can see for yourself. Any idiot can be famous, but what you do with your fame is what matters. A queen I stand sends a wrong message. I would have changed the narrative. Thanks for standing up to a blackmailer and changing the narrative. And at the same time, young women, be careful. I said something I said, if you're celebrating, maybe normal people will be cautious, but as a celebrity, well known, your guards should be up. With everything going on, do not ever let down your guard. Even with people around you, be cautious. People are ready to tear you apart.
So, especially those who are spreading the story in their bid to stand with you.
Yes.
And show their solidarity to you. Many of them, and you see, I don't want her to have the emotional burden of dealing with this alone. However, we should also be careful what we're past. I say this and I say this all the time. It's not a crime to have a tape, but it's irresponsible if that tape leaks.
Absolutely.
You have kids in the house.
Absolutely.
If you engage in intimacy, lock your door.
Correct.
It's not irresponsible for you to engage in sexual activity when you have children in the house. It is irresponsible to leave your door open. And it is irresponsible for you to train your children not to knock on doors.
Correct.
Because I've gone to some people's house, some children just barge into their parents' room. Hey, mommy, what?
Boundaries.
How bad it is in my house. I mean, my bathroom is a bit far away from the door. My children are knocking. They can't come into the room unless I say come in. and I'm shouting from the bathroom, but they can't hear. And they will still be there knocking it out. It drives me crazy. They
But
will
you
not.
set boundaries.
So
You
you've
set boundaries.
boundaries. Let this be a lesson to us all. If you must bring out a camera, how far are you going to allow that camera to go?
You know,
Also,
I
there's
also
something,
stated something.
Georgina, sorry, let me put this part. I
Yeah.
can't judge, and I am not holier. That's why I said this earlier on when I had this. I've done tapes before, so I would not judge. I just hope I'm responsible enough to make sure my tapes don't fall in the wrong hands. There's one thing that I can, however, comment on, and that is not using protection.
You said it.
Not spoken on.
You
You
said
see,
it.
if she in that video had used protection, that would have been
A
a
shield.
responsible act inside what seems to be an irresponsible act. Now, the taping is not irresponsible. The fact that it leaked is irresponsible because you are with someone who is not responsible enough to manage such a critical situation. Nobody's talking about that. The message needs to be passed to our children. It's not okay to have unprotected intercourse. We need to bring back to the fore the discussion on HIV. We need to bring back to the fore the discussion on the human papilloma virus or HPV.
PV. Oh, you're
That
saying that? What of
all
MMM?
of
There are more.
cervical cancer, vaginal cancer, anal cancer, and so many other forms of cancer.
You know, I work in the healthcare. I'm a health information specialist. You know, people tend to want to tag you just as an actress. I've moved past that. I stopped acting 16 years ago when I moved to the state, retrained with multiple masters in health information management. My ex-husband was a medical doctor. You know, so I've had the privilege of working in that capacity with so many doctors. I'm a quality assurance auditor. You raised a valid point. You know, people know what we call STDs, but there are what we call STIs. STDs are sexually transmitted diseases. STIs are sexually transmitted infections. And the difference you may ask is STDs are curable, STIs are not.
Are
And
not.
this is where you have HIV/AIDS, you have herpes, they call it COSO. That is herpes, highly infectious.
Oh
There's
yeah.
no cure for it. Like you said,
Serious.
HPV,
Oh, I want to have malaria.
it's not malaria.
It's
That
not
is
malaria.
sexually transmitted
That's oral,
infection.
and
Sex.
you have that your malaria, and you go down on somebody, you are going to give them genital.
Infection. Herpes. And no cure. And like you stated, I had an experience in 2015. I went to a hospital in Ikeja, and when I went there to see one of the people running the hospital, I saw a bunch of cars, expensive cars. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I went into the room. I saw beautiful women. Some of them I see on social media today, all sitting there. So I called the nun. It was run by the Catholic Church. So I called the nun. I'm like, what are all these people doing here? And you know what she said to me? Oh, today
Yeah.
is the day they come take their shot. I'm like, shot for what? Then she looked at me, HIV.
HIV. Yeah, I know.
And I said, what? He said, Gina, it is more prevalent in Nigeria than people are talking about it.
Someone
It
is
is
here
more
now. Listen,
prevalent.
sorry, Georgina. These are
Yeah,
the kind of comments that put us in trouble. Somebody's here saying, "Are you 100% healthy?" Nobody's 100% healthy.
I
But
know.
why expose yourself? Now, another thing is, as a public figure, people are scrutinizing every aspect of that video. And if they see you do it without protection, they think it's okay. They people literally worship their celebs, their politicians, their
Your
pastors.
pastors.
So everything is a message. And I would be so grateful if she can address that part in such a way that it helps people understand the gravity of unprotected intercourse. Nobody's judging anybody. You
No,
can't ring a bell. The
no.
video is out. People have assessed it. They've accessed it and they've assessed it. They've
Can I say
analyzed
something to you? Can I say
these.
something to you? I work in a healthcare field. And each time we all go see our OBGYN, the first thing they tell you is, especially the OBGYN, they say, look, even though you love your husband and trust him from now to Jericho, make sure every 3 months you subject him to HIV test. If you see anything around that cap, disease, tell him, man, go check yourself. And if you feel you're in the heat of the moment, there's oral quick you put around your mouth too. It's an easy test for HIV. You know, carelessness this carelessness have led people to their early grave. There are no cures. Why being so careless with your life? It sends every wrong message. I said in my book, look, don't bring intimate experience to online gratification. You understand? And when you're having an intercourse with somebody in an open space, in a boat or in a ship with so many people, didn't you think of your privacy? You could
Now,
go
hold on
home.
to address this gentleman here, Emilia Munike, Emil Amunike. Stop victim blaming. This is the most stupid thing a grown man can say. I want to ask the victim, where we've gone past the victim stage because she did not submit to the blackmailer.
No.
But in this tape, she can, I don't know how to put this, you can't exactly call her or any of us victims. It was a choice. It was a choice that backfired.
Yeah.
So stop this victim. Nobody is blaming any victim.
No.
Nobody. I know when you blame a victim, when somebody has had a really tough time and then people still go ahead and bash that.
Beat
This
her. Yeah.
like that. This is an analysis. It's an analysis of a situation that is public.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for her.
I
And
do.
I say this all the time. I could have been in those shoes. These are
Yep.
mistakes I made. I learned a lot from this. And I will not judge her. I would never judge her. However, this situation has brought some issues to the fore.
Forefront.
And
Public discourse.
unprotected intercourse, the company you keep, the people you trust, the people
Association.
with your, you see, it's one thing to trust people, it's another thing to entrust them with your privacy. I can trust you, Georgina, not to
Correct.
cheat, but can I trust you by giving you $1 million to keep for me, by
No. I
trusting?
want to buy quick stock and turn over the money. I might lose your money there.
So
So
we need, there's a narrative, it has happened, let's learn from
from
the
it,
mistake.
a
It has
teaching
happened.
moment.
We can't unring the bell. We are not good. Nobody's sitting down here judging her, telling her, oh, she was stupid.
No,
Oh,
no,
no,
no, no.
saying that. But we can't ignore we can't just say, okay, it didn't happen, let's look away. It's gonna happen again tomorrow.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's happened twice this week.
It's scary. And that's why it has to be a passionate appeal. Dearest, beautiful black woman or sister. At times, you just have to restrain yourself. Love making is beautiful. There ain't nothing wrong with it, but do it responsibly. Do it with the subconsciousness that this person I'm engaging in this act with, can I trust? But even if you trust, verify. And like I said, a man who truly loves you will not subject you to that. I don't care of whatever. We're from a different school of thought. But a man who has so much at stake will not do this to you. And it begs the question, the quality of men we associate ourselves with. If you date a tout, they will give you the tout attitude. You date a thug, you will get the thuggery attitude. You date a street urchin, you'll be subjected to the walls of the street. I don't see any man who is a CEO or who is this who will want to say, if I do this, what if this? You have so much to lose, I have so much to lose. Your reputation, my reputation. So we better protect it together if we do this. But when you enjoy the life of thuggeries, boys who are not men, women who are low-life scumbags. So how do you begin to normalize such? So for me, I will beg women, let's be cautious. Look, we come from a patriarchal society. Nigeria is a patriarchal society. People think when it's a man, it was like, but you as a woman, the society will rub it as a banner of shame on you. And if you know that, I beg you in the name of God, tread with caution. Nobody is a saint. Nobody is a saint. We all make mistakes. But can we learn from it? From everything that has been happening since last month? What's your take? Times are changing. We can do better. Let's help keep our society safe. No, it's my pleasure.
It's lovely having you and lovely sharing this. I wish we could be more open in Nigeria about conversations. You see, anything you try to say, people will jump and say you're judging. We're not judging. Let's have a conversation. Look at the man whose comment I pinned. He said, you have a point, but you all dwell on her mistake, but you forget to address the man who shared the video. Who forgot to address what? Did we not talk about the blackmail?
Yeah.
We didn't forget to address anything. And I don't know how to put this, but this is a dilemma. A friend of mine, his son was caught sending his 13-year-old son was
Sexting.
caught
Sexting.
Yes, to a girl in their school, and then it ended up on a WhatsApp group, and before you knew it, everybody in the school was in trouble. It's an issue. We've got to deal with it. We're not going to throw the son away. We're not going to throw the school away. We're not going to throw the girl away.
But you know something now? If you do that in America, it's a crime. You will go to juvenile prison. It's called juvenile hall because they're trying to discourage that. So it's incumbent upon us to tell our young boys and girls, taking naked pictures of yourself, sending to a girl, or if the school authority gets a hangover, you're going to prison in America. It's called JV, juvenile hall. They have prison for children in America. So they're trying to discourage children. I don't know of Nigeria. If you try sexting in America now as a middle school student or a high school, you go to prison. It's a crime and you distribute it. You'll be suspended. You'll be expelled. No school will take you in the state of California. So I think our laws around all of this needs equally to be, updated. They're all obsolete. So I will beg women. We come from a country where we say they go leave the nyash where mess go they conk the head. So if you don't know that, no make yourself stay for that nyash where everybody go they conk. Have your fun. Enjoy who you want to enjoy. It's a beautiful thing to make love and have sex when you're with someone you feel comfortable. Do it responsibly. That's my take.
Thank you, Gorgina, and thank you
You're
to
welcome.
all who wanted to have an intelligent and intellectual conversation. It's a beautiful thing. After today, we're not going to have any more videos. on this particular topic. We hope to move on. The reason why so many conversations were had around this was because we want to address the issues that are out there. Keeping quiet is not going to make the video disappear.
It will embolden the perpetrators of this
It's
act.
not the video disappear.
Can I say something to you? You see that guy that was with Tonto DK, whatever? If not the pressure from the public, that guy was ready to release and blackmail so many women, even in Nollywood. But when you called him and people started calling him out, police arrested him yesterday. He would not dare release a compromising tape of another woman. So it's not just celebrity. There are a lot of married women entangled with these people. So when you address this issue, there is an awakening. People become cautious so that when you're doing whatever, be guarded. If not for the pressure put on that man, if we had all let it slide, no, call him what it is, a spade is spade. You're a blackmailer. You don't do that to a woman you love. He will not dare tomorrow do that to another person.
The funny thing is, we don't even know who leaked it. We don't even know where they
But the
leaked
question is, you recorded it because with the phone, when that woman was crying, I work in radio, TV, television.
Oh, you're talking about the other one. I was
The
talking
other
about
one. No, even for this woman today, Tiwa Savage, if you learn cinematography and the angle of camera, you will see it was done with a cell phone on a close-up shot. We're all film people. We've worked with cameras. 25 years of acting is no child's play. You know your camera angles. So the boy who recorded Tonto did it. You could hear him clearly. Tonto was on a distance. The person who recorded Tiwa had it on a close-up. So God help us all, and may we not fall victims to these miscreants and touts, both women and men. And if you're a blackmailer out there, someday the long arm of justice is going to catch up with you. Stop.
Amen.
Thank you, my brother. Good night.
Poor girl. Some of them still use the video. Guys,
No
nobody's
problem.
criticizing. We are discussing.
Listen.
CNN discuss. When there's something happening between two countries, they discuss. Where on their celebrity news, they discuss what happens with their celebrities. And this is one of Nigeria's biggest celebrities. And something of this magnitude is worthy of discussion. We're not going to judge. We're not going to bash. We're not going to insult. We're not even going to criticize. We're just going to discuss and learn from this scenario.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Gorgina.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful night, West. Bye, everybody.
Bye.